Amp Unit, good morning! Wake up, get up, if you're not already. The next hour, spend it with me. Let's talk pro wrestling. If you're not busy, of course. If you have something to do within the next hour, come back and talk pro wrestling with me. But make sure you actually come back. Otherwise, I'm just talking to a camera and I'm looking silly. Please, don't make me look silly. Let's talk pro wrestling, man. It's another weekend, which means it's another podcast. This one is episode 12, and we have big topics, right? I can't say there's a plethora we're going to go over this week. We're definitely going over an hour, but it's topics that really have a lot of definition to them, a lot of substance. So we have to kind of spend some length on them. We're going to discuss a feud that's really kicking in the high gear between USA Network and the Fox Network. What am I talking about? Well, stay tuned, you'll find out. We're also going to talk about a possible Battle of the Dusts at AEW's Double or Nothing May 25th. What the hell am I talking about? Again, stay tuned. But the first topic we're going to go over, this one's going to be lengthy, guys. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm not going to put timestamps because you should be listening to every second of the Amplified Man. So I'm not going to make this easy for you and have you jumping all around. No, just listen to the podcast, will you? That's the whole reason for a podcast. Do something that takes an hour and listen to the Ant-Man in your ears. But we are going to discuss in length, this is going to be a while, Charlotte, Asuka, Becky Lynch, this whole scenario, their main event at Mania, and more importantly, the screw job that was done this past Tuesday, because I assure you it was a screw job. So I really want to spend a little bit more time in length. Does that make sense? I guess that wouldn't be a little more time. A lengthy amount of time in length, but then that just sounds redundant. I don't have to say that. Anyway, I want to spend more time on that subject, so that's what we're going to do. Before I talk Fox and USA Network going to war with each other, I want to talk about Asuka a little bit more. So I hope you guys join me over the next hour because it is podcast time, baby, and we're going to do this amplified style. Action! My Amplified Unit. Welcome to the 12th ever episode of BC's Pro Wrestling Amplified Podcast, 1 week before WrestleMania. So obviously there's a lot to go over, but there is subjects that I want to spend a little bit more time in length discussing with you guys. We're going to take it chill today, right? We got so amplified with this past Monday Night Raw's review and this past SmackDown's review. So this is going to be an hour plus of just kind of shooting the shit with you guys, you know, almost like this is just a discussion about pro wrestling with my unit and yours truly, the head of the unit, the Amplified Man. So that's what we're going to do, guys. We're just going to talk, as if we're just shooting the shit outside of the arena an hour before a big show. I want to start off by just discussing my take on SmackDown this past week. I know it was controversial because WWE, the show itself, made it controversial when Charlotte Flair won that championship against Asuka. And the reviews, everybody who does a review in any platform, on any platform, whether you're a journalist on a blog or on a website, or if you create videos on platforms like YouTube, I'm sure your thoughts, your opinions were controversial because it was a very hot topic, very controversial topic. Here's the deal, guys. I stand behind every word that I said in that SmackDown review video, and it's so cool to see that many people were on board with the way I saw things. The facts and the reality, the truth that I dropped in that video, it was great to see so many people really not only accept that, but say, hey, BC, I feel the same exact way. Because the truth is, guys, and it's not just the truth, just because BC's saying it, just because the Amplified man's saying it, so that's the truth. No, it's the truth because I'm not just giving you opinion. I'm giving you facts. I'm giving you statistics. I'm bringing you the truth. The reality of the situation. That's what makes it truth. It's not just an opinion or just something that I'm thinking about. I literally go in detail with you guys. And I focus in on the actual reality and truth of the given topic or situation. I do that all the time, and that's why I call it truth, or at least the closest thing to truth that we have. And I told you guys, no matter how you're thinking about it or what your opinion is, the fact is, the truth is, Asuka was screwed Tuesday night on Smackdown. Asuka was done dirty. In the latest report that we have, here we are days later, and the latest report we have is Asuka knew nothing about this in advance. She showed up to work thinking she was going to take on the winner of the Fatal 4-Way at WrestleMania, and she found out, just like everyone else, Vince decided to go a different route to put gold around Charlotte's waist so the main event is more attractive. That's the truth. That is just the truth, guys. Anything unifying of the titles, or a 4 Horsemen storyline setup, all of that may happen in the future, maybe even at WrestleMania, but that is not the reason Vince did this. And again, it's confirmed with everybody's report, people that actually are in the know, reputable sources, that are saying everybody found this out on Tuesday. You're telling me 13 nights before WrestleMania, Vince just decided, let's unify the championships? No. In the latest report, this could have changed, but the latest report we're getting is that the first initial, I should go back, right after Charlotte won that championship, the first report by WWE it was that Charlotte's title will not be up for grabs. As of now, that is still the case, guys. We're filming this on a Friday. This is obviously going out either Saturday or Sunday of this weekend, so things may have changed. But as of right now, Charlotte's title is not up for grabs. So you can forget about unifying anything right now. Right now, WWE said it's not up for grabs. But the latest report that I heard was that they're thinking about holding a winner-takes-all concept, which means anyone who wins the match, if you pin one of the champions and you are a champion, in other words, guys, if Ronda was to pin Charlotte, for instance, or Charlotte pins Ronda, the winner takes both belts. But that does not mean they're unified. It just means the winner takes all. The winner would have 2 championships. So if that's the case, we joked about it. Vince could have Charlotte Flair walk out with both titles. I mean, he's stopping at nothing at this point to make Charlotte Flair, whether you like it or not, the face of this company. So it wouldn't, I say it wouldn't shock me, but yes, it would. It would absolutely shock me if Charlotte walked out with both straps. It shouldn't shock me because it's Vince, but it would shock me. But, so that's what we're hearing, guys. Again, this could change. This is being filmed on a Friday, so if it's a Saturday or Sunday and word broke out of something different, don't hate on the messenger for that, guys. The latest report I have is that WWE made an initial report after Charlotte won the match saying that Charlotte's strap will not be up for grabs, but then the latest report we're hearing that has not been confirmed is that the winner is going to take all, which means they're possibly going to have a scenario where if a champion beats a champion, they will take both straps. But for instance, if Becky Lynch was to win, defeating one of the champions, she would only get 1 strap. I hope this makes sense. So, anyone who thought this was just going to be an automatic unification, not the case. If it happens, trust me, it was very last minute because that is not what Vince was going with. And that's what makes this even more tragic, guys. Is that I honestly believe this was just done, and I know this for a fact, this was just done to add more kind of glitz and glamour to the main event. I don't think Vince was sold on just the triple threat. I don't think Vince would have been sold if you added 6 more women in there and made this a fatal 9-way. Vince was not sold on the females headlining WrestleMania, and that's why you did not see this really announced as the main event until a little over a week before WrestleMania. That is why Vince was not sold on it. And he hit panic mode and he said, you know what? Then I want Charlotte to have a strap too. I want the poster to really start blinging to people, jump off the page. 2 champions, 3 women, maybe even a winner takes all. And on top of that, and I say that's tragic because you didn't need to do that. All you really needed was Becky and Ronda. And if you built the story up correctly, which they didn't, that's probably another reason why they panicked and put Charlotte in there. But they didn't build it up correctly. But all they had to do was build that correctly between Becky and Ronda. And I would have watched. If you want to put it in the main event, fine. Just give me something that's entertaining and a badass ending. That makes sense. But instead, they made the storyline horrific. They added in Charlotte, which is mind-bogglingly confusing and bullshit. And now we're stuck with this weird triple threat. Adding a championship is not going to help. You can add the Intercontinental Championship, the United States Championship, and Brock Lesnar's Universal strap all to this women's match, and it will not make a difference. That's the truth. So now I'm sure Vince will probably tweak it again days before WrestleMania. Maybe it'll become winner takes all days before Mania. And then hours before the actual match, maybe he'll decide to unify the championships. Who knows? But it was unnecessary because in the process, you did this at Asuka's expense. Asuka's one of the best wrestlers in the world, and Asuka has prestige to her name, not just from Japan, but everywhere she goes. Asuka has this aura and prestige. She's next level, and she should be treated as such, not as a sideshow joke and not as a clown. And that's what Vince and WWE has done with her, just like they did with Shinsuke Nakamura. They win the Royal Rumble last year, and you think something big is going to happen, and it's just... they were brushed to the side. It was almost like they won the Rumble just to shut people up. They won championships just to shut people up, because nothing came from the Royal Rumble victories, nothing came from their championship reigns. In fact, when they won the championship, Shinsuke Nakamura and Asuka, I always say this, you could find them on the side of a milk carton, because nobody knew where they were. They had gold, and Vince just put them to the side. They had nothing for them. So all of this, when it's all said and done, it's looking like this was all done just for a visual at the end of WrestleMania. All 4 women, the 4 horsewomen of the WWE, are going to hold up their gold. Sasha and Bayley with their tag straps. You're going to have Charlotte with her Smackdown strap. And Becky Lynch, it looks like anyway, with the Raw strap. Right? They're going to have her somehow beat Ronda. Would Vince really do that? If Ronda Rousey is taking time off and she's not going to come back until that Fox deal around October, so maybe she'll come back for like Survivor Series, for instance, for her next big pay-per-view after Mania. If that's the case, or maybe she just, wants to start a family and it's going to take even more time. Maybe she doesn't come back till past Royal Rumble next year, heading into Mania of next year. Wouldn't you just have Becky take it at that point then? What are you going to have? A Ronda undefeated streak another year when she's not even there? Or was Charlotte's winning of the title 13 nights before Mania just to drop the title 13 days later to Becky Lynch? So maybe what we all thought originally, Charlotte's in this match just to take the fall, just to take the pin from Becky. So now does Becky get the SmackDown championship? So you did all of this to Asuka just for a 13-day title reign by Charlotte for Becky to win the match at Mania. I hope you guys are keeping track. None of it makes sense. And nothing. It's unfinished business with Becky and Ronda. Becky didn't even take Ronda's title. So what? And now Ronda's undefeated for another year, but Ronda's not even going to be around for most of the year. So why? I hope you guys are seeing how stupid this is. But on the other end, if you have Charlotte keep her title and Becky does beat Ronda, so now what? WrestleMania's ending visual is just the 4 horsewomen holding up their titles, fireworks going off, and the women's movement is alive and well. in New York City, New Jersey, MetLife Stadium, and across the world on the WWE Network. Women power, right? And all the women, the 4 horsewomen, are holding up their championships. Well, if everybody already thinks that that's what's going to happen anyway, and all of a sudden Charlotte, this devious heel, is going to be hugging Becky and Bayley and Sasha, I don't know if I believe all that. I don't know if I want to believe all that. And again, you sacrificed Asuka's title reign and Asuka match at WrestleMania, Asuka's character in general, just to have a photo op at the end of WrestleMania. That doesn't make sense anyway, because Charlotte's supposed to be this heel and Becky and... I don't know, man. I hope you guys are keeping track with everything I just said, because if it seems like it's all over the place, it's because this whole feud, this whole storyline, or lack thereof, has been all over the place. So when we discuss it on this podcast, there's no way you can't help but go all over the place. And I just hope my audience is making sense of what we're talking about here. Nothing makes sense. I would have just loved to have seen Becky and Ronda, a badass storyline, badass Becky, not wobbling around on crutches for 2 months, but just badass, taking on Ronda Rousey, badass, like she's been lately. Not giving hoorah speeches and telling everyone to go for their dreams and go for your aspirations and conquer the world. No, just be badass. Fuck you, I don't care about any of you. I'm Ronda Rousey, I sell the tickets around here, I'll do what I want. Becky Lynch, I'm no longer waiting around for my opportunity. I'm not waiting for the authority to give me things. I'm taking what I want from now on because I deserve it, because I am that damn good. And those two egos colliding every week. Not necessarily in physical format or combat, but just butting heads. Badass promos, security in their way. They're beating up each other's security. You make it personal, like they are on social media, but for some reason they aren't that way on TV. Why not? The story was not told between the two. Instead, we got a half-ass, weird, mind-bogglingly confusing, bullshit, nonsensical storyline, and, to make matters worse, they added in Charlotte Flair. For no reason, other than Vince loves Charlotte Flair. And then to make matters even more worse, they sacrifice Asuka in her title reign to throw the strap on Charlotte, so that Charlotte does have something to bring to the table. Everybody was calling her a third wheel. There's no reason she should be in the match. So Vince is like, let's give her a title. That'll make her not a third wheel. That'll make her relevant. Not a third wheel. No, she's still a third wheel. She's still irrelevant in this match, and it still doesn't make sense. So, if that was their way to make Charlotte, a big part of this match, they failed in every aspect. So the bottom line, what I'm telling you guys is, that video I put out Tuesday, it garnered a lot of attention, man. Thousands of people viewed that. Hundreds of people ended up smashing that like button and really letting me know in the comments, BC, thank you. Thank you for being the voice for all of us, because I feel the exact way. And Asuka was done dirty, and she did get screwed. And, when you do this channel like I have for 2 years plus, you piss off a lot of people, because on this channel, I tell you guys all the time, I said it at the beginning of this video, I don't just drop opinions. I just don't drop my thoughts. I'm dropping truth in reality because I love statistics. I love numbers. I love facts. And sometimes all those things will piss people off because you're going against their opinion. You're going against their thoughts. You're going against their favorite superstar. And they don't want to think that way. They don't want to believe you. So they get upset with you and they get pissed off. And so for 2 years now, I've been pissing people off, so I'm used to it, Even when I'm dropping facts, they don't want to hear it. And I thought Tuesday's video was going to be the same, because I thought a lot of people would be on board maybe with Charlotte's decision. Maybe a lot of people thought that this was honestly done to unify championships, or done to catapult the Horseman storyline. All which may be true in the future, but that's not why Vince did it. Initially, anyway. So I thought I was going to obviously piss off a lot more people, which I would have been fine with, as long as you guys are hearing the truth. That's all that matters. I'll be the bad guy. I'll be the boogeyman, and I'll be the asshole. I tell you guys all that all the time. But the response I got on that video, man, I was blown away. I really did feel like a voice for so many people who don't have platforms. Blogs, review videos or review sheets online, whatever your outlet is for pro wrestling. A lot of people don't have these type of outlets, and it felt good that I could be that for so many people. I really did, because Asuka, I really stand by those words. Here we are days later. I stand by every word that I dropped on that Smackdown review video this week, and I'm so glad that a lot of you guys felt the same way. Not because I need to be agreed with all the time, but because you guys really saw the problems, and that's what I try to talk about. That's why I put the Amplify Unit. You guys hear me say that all the time, and it's not just some cute little catchphrase. Hey, we're the Amplified Unit, you know? No, it's something that I believe fully in, because I put you guys on a higher pedestal. I really believe you guys are the smartest wrestling fans in the wrestling community. So it's not just something I like to say as a cute little catchphrase. You guys are the smartest wrestling fans because we talk like this in these videos. And if you guys aren't understanding where I'm coming from, even if you don't agree, but you're hearing me and you know, shit, Amplify Man has a point, or points, or wow, I never thought of it that way, but he's telling the truth. Even if you don't like it, right? Say I'm saying something rough. You don't want to hear about Tyler Breeze, for instance, and you love Tyler Breeze. You might say, fuck you, BC, I love Tyler Breeze. But you are correct, BC. But still, fuck you, because I love Tyler Breeze. You know what I mean? That's cool. As long as you're hearing me and you understand that I'm not just giving you opinions, guys. These are facts. If you follow me on Twitter, you know I love giving statistics, numbers, facts. And I love doing that in these videos. I love when there's transparency. Transparency? I can fucking speak. What the fuck am I trying to say? Transparency. There you go. Say that fucking 10 times fast. Transparency. Yeah. I can't even get 3 times fast. But I love when there is that understanding between us, guys. And so yeah, I stand by those words. And I want everybody to know that when it comes to Charlotte Flair, this is not shade. I want everybody to know, if you are newer to this channel, I want you guys to know that I love Charlotte Flair as a competitor, as an athlete, as a pro wrestler. I really do. I don't throw any shade, and I'll go a step further. I throw no hate whatsoever at Charlotte. Guys, I've said on this channel time and time again, she is one of the best wrestlers in the world, just like I would say Asuka is. As fast as Charlotte has picked up this sport, this business, and as good as she is, it's incredible. As far as athletics and as far as being an athlete, Charlotte is one of the best in the company, male or female. So I'm not one of these people that says, Charlotte's horrible, Charlotte's trash, Charlotte shouldn't be in this match or this match. No, absolutely not. And if you really feel that way, guys, then we have a disconnect between us. You cannot like her. You can be fed up. You can feel she's being shoved down your throat and everything, and I totally understand and even agree in part. But don't fool yourself. Don't say something like she's not a great athlete or she's not a great wrestler. She is, guys. You know what I mean? And there's always some idiot out there who will try to argue that. No, she's not, BC. I respectfully disagree, BC. Charlotte is actually not that good, BC. She misses 91% of her moonsaults. You know, I'll hear stuff like that, and I'll be like, okay, well, 91% of the roster won't even attempt a moonsault. 71% of all moonsaults performed are half-ass or don't land. 71%. So it's a thing of beauty, you know? Whether she lands it perfectly 91% of the time or not, it's a thing of fucking beauty, and at least she's attempting it. She's athletic enough to do some ooh-ah moments. So, you know, and I'm just using the moonsault as just one example, guys. But everything she does with, spectacle around it. You have to give her daps and dues. She definitely belonged and deserved main events, many of them, in the spotlight. Often. There's no question. So there's no shade or hate thrown to Charlotte for this. The problem is this, and for people that don't understand the shade that seems to be thrown at Charlotte, I'm going to tell you guys why that is. And again, this is fact. It's because in WWE especially, but pro wrestling, it's one of those sports entertainment juggernauts that, and there's nothing like it, by the way, but you have to have a little bit of give and take, push and pull. You have to get thrusted into that spotlight main event role and championships even, but then also know when to be taken back. Right? We've seen it with even Naomi, for instance, and I was a huge advocate for Naomi winning the championship. And finally, after we advocated for it, Naomi was able to win the championship. Was it a half-assed title reign because of her creative and booking? No question. No fault of Naomi. Just creative and booking was half-assed. For everybody at that time anyway. Still to this day, you could argue. But Naomi was thrusted into the championship role for several months. And then when she dropped it, they had to take her back a few notches. Now, unjustifiably, she's never returned. And that's what I mean. That's where the issue is. By now, Naomi should have had the spotlight put back on her. But I'm okay with her getting the title reign and then being dropped back a little bit. Sasha Banks, she went through the title reign as much as unjustifiably as well. It was not for a lengthy amount of time, which pisses me off to this day. But I'm okay with her being taken back because she was in many pay-per-view main event matches. Main event not necessarily meaning the last match, although she was as well. But big-time women's matches, Sasha Banks was. And then they had to put her back. Just like Naomi, she never was put back there. She's been in a tag team since the early 2018 days with Bayley. I don't care how many tag team championship gold you throw at her. Sasha should be by herself going for singles gold. That's how I feel. But I'm okay with her getting the title and then being brought back. Becky Lynch, she won the title. Then they put her back. Then they thrusted her back with the championship. And at some point, I'm guessing she will lose it when she gets it back, and then they're going to bring her back. You have to have give and take. Everybody goes through it, is my point, guys. I'm just giving you examples. We saw it with Naomi. We saw it with Sasha. We saw it with Becky Lynch, the first title reign. Second title reign when she came back from injury. She dropped it to Asuka just because they were setting up for WrestleMania, so that was kind of bullshit, even though you knew the spotlight was going to continue to be on Becky. I hope that makes sense. My point is this, with Charlotte, there was never any pullback. It was just push, push, push. There was never any give. It was just take, take, take. And I'm going to give you guys those statistics that I always tell you about. This is really all of 2018, but I'll go back SummerSlam of 2018. Charlotte Flair in the big women's match. It was a triple threat with Carmella and Becky Lynch. August 19th. Hell in a Cell, a month later, September 16th, she was in the big match for the women. Super Showdown, October 6th, one month later, she was in the big match at Super Showdown with the ladies. This is all Becky Lynch too, mostly, guys. Most of these are going to be with Becky Lynch. I think even all of them. So that goes to tell you how many times do we need to see Charlotte and Becky? Why not just have Becky Lynch? Because this was at a time where Becky Lynch was thriving. And Vince had to have Charlotte tied to the hip with her. So, SummerSlam August 19th, Hell in a Cell September 16th, Super Showdown October 6th, SmackDown Live, a big SmackDown Live event with Becky Lynch, the following SmackDown of Super Showdown, that was on October 9th. Charlotte in that big main event. Evolution, October 28th. So all of those big matches, for some reason, Charlotte was tied to the hip with Becky Lynch. So at Evolution, it was no different. October, 28th with Becky Lynch. TLC, December 16th, triple threat. That was when Charlotte was tied to the hip again with Becky. That's when Asuka took the strap from Becky Lynch. Why? Why was it necessary? We couldn't even end there. Fastlane of this year, March 10th. Becky Lynch and Charlotte again. This is all while Becky Lynch was supposed to not only have the spotlight and be thriving, but be in a role with Ronda Rousey. A storyline with Ronda Rousey, and instead, Charlotte Flair was getting everything. At the Evolution, where was it, guys? What was the Survivor Series was another big match. So everything I just named was Becky Lynch and Charlotte, just so you guys know. But that doesn't mean that was the end of Charlotte Flair's big matches for 2018 and 2019. Because in 2018, she also took on Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series. Vince McMahon wasted no time when Becky Lynch got injured, replacing her with Charlotte Flair. And if you guys remember, Charlotte Flair basically took the character of Becky Lynch. The I don't give a fuck anymore, I'm doing it my way, I'm going to be a much more aggressive, ruthless Charlotte Flair. But that was Becky Lynch's character. So Vince wasted no time thrusting Charlotte, tying her to the hip of Becky Lynch like they were two peas in a pod. So where am I going with this? Why do people throw shade at Charlotte Flair? Guys, it's because at no time did Vince McMahon put her to the back of the line, even if it's only for a couple months. Let other people shine when they should be shining. Becky Lynch should not have been tied to the hip with Charlotte this whole time, but she was. She should have been thriving. Naomi had to do it. She went to the back of the line. She never even got back to the front. Sasha Banks never got back to the front. They wasted all of 2018 setting up a tag team championship run. Finally, in 2019, they got the titles. And guess what? They're in obscurity still. They're still taking on Nia Jax and Tamina. In fact, at WrestleMania, they're going to be in a fatal four-way. Nobody gives a shit about Sasha and Bayley anymore. No more than they did in 2018. Becky Lynch went to the back of the line. At least she found her way back to the front of the line through hard work, through her own motivation, determination, and grit. They couldn't hold her back. They couldn't hold her down. That's how you get back to the front. By working your ass off. By trying new shit. Becky earned that. Charlotte Flair has to show everyone that she's able to come back to the front of the line. We already know she's athletic enough to do it. We know she's a damn great wrestler to do it. So prove to everyone, show us that we want to see you at the front of the line. Instead, Vince kept her at the front of the line. That's what I'm trying to show you statistically, guys. That's why I'm going over all these matches, that she was at the head of the line. She was the top dog. You know, you have to share. I'm not saying like Bayley wants it. I want everybody to have the title. I want everybody to have a chance in the main event. Not at all. Only ones that deserve it. No question. And I'm not talking about today's wrestling fan that says everyone deserves it. You deserve it, right? Tyler Breeze gets a haircut, goes into the middle of the ring. You deserve it. You know what I mean? Andrade Cien Almas gets a new pair of dress shoes. You deserve. I mean, fans today will say you deserve it for anything. Anything at all, you deserve it. If Alicia Fox wins a championship tomorrow, you deserve it. What? No, she really doesn't. That's not even throwing shade to Alicia Fox. She just doesn't. So it's not that type of you deserve it. I'm talking literally deserve through your own hard work and at least get one chance to show everyone that you belong in not just a main event, but with a championship. There's a select group of women and even male athletes in WWE right now that deserve to hold championships, deserve main events. Select few. Charlotte's one of them, but she needs to go to the back of the line every once in a while. Regroup, reform. And see what the other ladies that should absolutely have a chance at another title shot, or at least their first title shot even, you know, let Becky Lynch do it on her own. Let's see what Sasha has one more time with the championship. This time, lengthy. Let's see what Naomi has. One more championship run. This time, give her some good creative shit. Let's see what an Ember Moon would do in the main event status and with a championship, because she already showed you what she can do. Her character can definitely bring it. Her athleticism has already brought it. And as a wrestler, she's damn great. But no, Ember Moon gets shoved to the back of the line, kept there, and then finally gets injured. Nobody would have known because she was already in obscurity. I keep getting to this day, where's Ember Moon, BC? You don't know? She's been out with an injury. But I don't blame you for not knowing because she was already in obscurity. She was already in the back of the line. She never got a chance because Charlotte was hogging up the whole spot. At the same time, Sasha Banks is stuck in a tag team all of 2018 and what looks like all of 2019. At the same time, Naomi, they have nothing for her. They're playing around in a tag team with her and Asuka in 2018. And then when Asuka breaks off, they still have nothing for Naomi. They don't even use her. Those spots are crucial for people that do actually deserve them, but Charlotte won't step aside. Because Vince won't have her do such. And you could say, BC, you can't blame Charlotte for that. Maybe you're right. But that's why I'm saying nobody's hating Charlotte. Nobody's trying to throw shade at her. But if you complain or you're pissed off because people say things like, Charlotte's being shoved down our throat, forced upon us, and you're pissed off when fans say that, guess what? They have every right to say that. Because it absolutely feels like Charlotte's being forced upon all of us, shoved down our throats, when we're trying to say, hey man, this is one scenario, we don't need Charlotte. Let Becky and Ronda finish their business. But no, Vince always, I just gave you a plethora of all the big matches in 2018 and into 2019, and they all have one thing in common. Charlotte Flair is in all of them. You don't always need to be there. Step to the back. BC, they've taken the titles off her many of times. Yes, but they never put her to the back of the line. She's an 8-time champion already in just a few years. Athletically and wrestling speaking, wrestling-wise, again, absolutely deserving. But when you look at the grand scheme of storyline and feud and what was supposed to be told in the best way, no, she shouldn't be in those scenarios. She should not have had the strap 8 times in as many years as she has. So that is why, guys, it's not just shade or hate or we just don't like Charlotte. Many of us do like Charlotte. We know what she's capable of and we love seeing her in the ring. But there comes times, like Mania, like Ronda Becky, those type of times, Charlotte has to take the back seat. Vince has to know, put her to the back of the line, still give her awesome feuds and awesome storylines, no doubt. She can have a big fan base, she can sell you merchandise, and you have a good storyline for her. But you can have other people at the top. That's the truth, guys. I know that's hard hitting. I know that's heavy, right? That was a heavy, I don't know what that was, 15, 20 minutes. Who knows how long I spent on that. That's what the podcast is awesome for. That's why I call this a podcast. Even though it's strictly for YouTube right now, I want you guys to treat it like an audio file. You know, you can take me to the gym and just listen to me for however long I'm going to go on a plethora of topics. You want to take me on your errands? You want to take me shopping? Hey, let's go, man. Because you know I'm going to give you over an hour of straight wrestling truth, facts, reality. And I'm just going to drop it left and right. So I hope that clears up the whole Charlotte thing. You know, there seems to be a disconnect between fans. You know, why do you hate Charlotte? Why do you guys not like Charlotte? She's not being forced. She deserves to be there. She's athletic. She's a great wrestler. No doubt. But fuck, does she have to be in everything? As a Sasha Banks mark, if you will, love Sasha Banks on this channel, you guys know that, I'll be the first to admit, no, she should not be in everything and always hold the title. You know, if you're going to give her one long run and make this a massive storyline where it's a big deal when Sasha loses the strap, then I'm down with it. But you also have to be building other superstars in the process. Other females have to have other awesome storylines. That's what I told you guys about Sasha Banks in 2018 when she was mingling around with Bayley in this tag team. And I was telling you guys, even though they had Ronda Rousey holding that belt, some would say hostage, But I do believe Ronda should have had the championship, so I'm definitely okay with that. But even though that main storyline is taken, Sasha, there's no reason Sasha shouldn't have a storyline. That you should just be having her with Bayley every week in the same matches with the Riot Squad or with Nia and Tamina. You just have to get creative. Ember Moon. Just because Ronda is in the main storyline, you can have something for Ember Moon. Showcase her. Catapult her. Maybe fans are going to totally dig her, love her wrestling, love her athleticism, love her character, and maybe Ember Moon is your next big star in 2019. We never would have known. She got kept in obscurity. And then finally injured. If I was Ember Moon, I would have injured myself at that point just to get the hell out of Dodge. You know, preferential treatment in that golden spoon treatment can be a good thing because it could build you heat. But it's a bad thing when you take it too far. Vince McMahon is obsessed that that's Ric Flair's daughter, and I'm sure he's obsessed because it's a blonde with big old fake boobies. I understand. But there comes a time where building a character from heel heat, and the character is based on this, the silver spoon or the golden spoon, however you want to put it. It's called the silver spoon, but really it's the golden spoon in this scenario, because this is Ric Flair, so it's only fitting. Regardless if that's the character you want to base her on, you have to know when to pull back a bit. Anyway, I feel like I'm just saying the same shit over and over again. I'm going to end the whole thing there. The points I want you guys to take from this whole conversation is A, I'm doubling down on my words that I said this past Tuesday for SmackDown's review video. Asuka was done dirty. She was screwed. There's no way around it. I don't care what this was for. Nothing in this world should have had Asuka dropping that title 13 nights away from SmackDown. And this was never the plan all along, I promise you. Because on their social media, they advertised a fatal four-way to determine who was going to be Asuka's number one contender for Mania. So Vince did not know this until the morning of SmackDown, when the audible was called. So Asuka was definitely screwed over. B, Charlotte was never, nor is she right now, nor will she be, needed for that WrestleMania main event match. She's not needed, she shouldn't be in it. Bottom line. You can hate it all you want, you can think that's just opinion or thought, but in reality, guys, that's fact and that's truth. I promise you. So that's why there's a lot of people that feel like me, and I found that out on that video this past Tuesday. A lot of people are just like the Amplified man. We're upset at this shit and frustrated because it didn't need to come to this. WWE was irresponsible, reckless, and careless with this whole main event storyline in the way that the creative booking, I guess you could say, but the creativity as a whole, the way it was all laid out. It was all done criminally and tragically wrong. Those are facts. I'm going to get another coffee, guys, and then we're going to get to the original thumbnail of this video, which is Fox taking on USA Network. Things are picking up, and they're about to go head-to-head. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to get a coffee. You guys don't got to go anywhere. Through the magic of YouTube television, if you will. Podcast format, of course. If you're on that treadmill right now, you're lifting those weights, or you're shopping, or you're on a long car ride, you don't got to touch anything. In a few seconds, we're going to be right back with the second big topic of this podcast. Fox versus USA. But again, through the magic of YouTube, I have to get another coffee. So I'll snap my fingers. We'll be right back. All right, Amp Unit, thank you. Had the refill, but we are back in action with our second big topic in this podcast. And it's just as big as the first topic. BC, what could be bigger than the WrestleMania main event? Well, something much bigger, actually. And that's Fox Network taking control of SmackDown in a little over 6 months. 6-7 months, right? October of this year, SmackDown makes the move. It's already been made official. But come October of this year, SmackDown actually makes the move, guys, and Fox gains control. Now, why is that a big story, BC? We already know that, and it's not for another 6 to 7 months. See, when I do these type of subjects and topics and stories on this podcast, I don't want to just ask the question with all of you and then we ponder the possibilities. I want to actually answer the question. The big question as of late is, how is Fox going to respond to the ratings being so low and asses not filling seats, merchandise being down, because this all affects the final product, which is going to be on Fox, where we now have the answer. Fox wants to totally change the mold of WWE. What do I mean? You see, USA Network is and has been totally fine with TV PG rating for their Monday Night Raw show. Their rating is a PG. Parental guidance, that's it. Nothing really over the top. Nothing even close to what Attitude Era had. And they're fine with that. Their advertisers, Vince McMahon and WWE, USA Network, everybody's hunky-dory happy. They have their advertisers that are PG friendly. Cricket Wireless, KFC, Snickers, General Mills and their Lucky Charms, Pop-Tarts, who the hell knows? Everybody's PG friendly these days. That's great. The only problem is ratings keep on dropping. Asses aren't showing up in seats, merchandise is down, the whole morale is down. But they're making their money, right? USA is happy as long as advertisers are jumping on ship. So as long as Vince is getting all those PG-friendly advertisers, USA is happy. They're getting their money. That's the whole reason. That's how it works, guys. USA pays for the rights of WWE and Vince McMahon's product, and in return, they're going to get all that advertising money. So USA Network is happy as fuck. The ratings are going down, yeah, but we can turn a blind eye to that. We can turn our backs to that and just say, hey, that's because they're watching on Hulu more. They're watching over on YouTube more. Nobody wants to stop and address the elephant in the room. How about if you made an interesting, intriguing, exciting, entertaining product, they'll need to watch live. There's a concept. So Fox, this is where the story is, guys, because we're about to go head-to-head with two of these major networks, man, and I'm telling you right now, Fox is much bigger. That's actually broadcast network, guys. This is one of the big 4 or 5, right? CBS, NBC, who else do you got? CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox. It's one of the big 4. So, you look at USA Network, that's one of many cable stations. Fox is a broadcast network. A lot more eyeballs. So what Fox says, WWE is going to have to do. If Fox says jump, WWE has to ask how high. That's just the way it is. They're the reason that Vince McMahon is making all this money, right? Everybody likes to say, yeah, everyone can complain about the product, but Vince is making more money now than he ever has. But how, guys? Did you stop and ask how? It's because people like Fox are paying him $1 billion to carry Smackdown in October and going forward. Because people like Saudi Arabia are offering millions and millions of dollars just for his talent to show up. Has nothing to do with his PG rating. Has nothing to do with the asses not showing up in attendance in America or ratings going down. Saudi Arabia doesn't care about that. They want their superstars to show up. That's how Vince made that money. The $1 billion, Fox wants to change the mold now. They paid you the money, now you have to work with us. So all of this Vince McMahon WWE money that everyone's saying he's making, look at how it's being made, guys. Has nothing to do with the fact that Vince made his product PG, I assure you. And Fox is opening up. They're not remaining silent no more, no. They're speaking up and they're saying we're not happy with ratings going down. We're not happy with where the ratings are. We're not happy with asses not filling the seats and merchandise being down because all of that affects the product that's going to be on Fox. So where am I getting at? What is Fox saying, BC? Fox wants to go more edgier. Fox wants WWE to be more grittier and more reality in your face. And I honestly think that's why Vince is giving his superstars the green light on social media to open up. If you've noticed on social media, there's no more playing within the boundaries. There's a lot more grittiness and reality. Kayfabe is totally dead on social media. And maybe that's where Fox wants Vince to take the product. And maybe Vince does not want to tell USA Network that we're going away from TV PG rating. He doesn't want to upset USA Network or his advertisers over there. But he also doesn't want to upset Fox, so he's testing this out on social media. But if you think Fox doesn't have a say on what's going on social media right now, or they're not influencing Vince McMahon and WWE, you're lying to yourself, or you're just fooling yourself. Either you don't want to believe it, or you just are not in the know. You don't realize what's happening, because Fox is absolutely influencing this. Because we know for a fact, from day one, they told Vince, if Brock's around, we want Brock on SmackDown. If Ronda is around and able, we want her on SmackDown. They want that UFC type vibe. They want to make this an actual legit sport, but with all the entertainment aspects attached. And because of that, they don't want those squeaky clean PG rating advertisers. Fox wants Budweiser, Crown Royale, those luxury Italian cruise advertisements that are more for the adults. Not your Disney cruise, but the ones that tell you there's a 24/7 open bar on the cruise. Any adult beverage you like to drink 24/7, it's yours. And you're looking out into the yonder of Italy or France. You know females are going to perk up when that advertisement shows up. Honey, we're going there next vacation. And then the next advertisement is a Budweiser commercial. And the dudes stop what they're doing and they're watching this alpha commercial hit the airwaves. It's no longer Pop-Tarts or Lucky Charms or Cricket Wireless or KFC. No, this is Budweiser now or Crown Royale. One of their favorite whiskeys ends up coming around. Now Fox wants to go a lot more adult-oriented. Fox wants to go more of a TV 14 rating. That is big difference, guys. Now you're along the lines of Attitude Era. I'm not saying we need to, nor should we, go back to the Attitude Era, but we absolutely have to change this product. We absolutely have to get grittier, and we absolutely have to get rid of PG programming. It's not doing anything for anybody, the audience or Vince McMahon and WWE. And yes, it's not doing anything for 7-year-old Freddie who's sitting in the 16th row. That kid is not gaining anything from this PG rating. I assure you. So absolutely, things need to change, and at least Fox is addressing this. They want to go a more adult-oriented approach and way. That's the direction that they want to go into. And a TV 14 rating, I think, is perfect. It meets everybody in the middle. It's not the squeaky clean product for 5-year-olds, because we've already been in that for over 10 years now. And it's not necessarily saying you're gonna see fucking people getting their fucking limbs cut off and people stuffed in garbage compactors and disposals. Although knowing WWE storylines, maybe that happens. But it's not necessarily saying that. It meets everybody in the middle. You're going to be entertained. It's a little bit of everything. And how Vince used to do it back in the day, the first hour, or if it remains 3 hours, the first hour, it's Fox. At this point, it's only supposed to be 2 hours. Maybe the first hour can be a little bit more looser, a little bit more kid-friendly, and then the second hour, we get a little bit more risque. That's how they used to do it. I love this. This is Fox not willing to just follow suit. Not willing to just look at Vince and say, hey, we're just happy to be doing business with you. We'll follow in line with how you and USA Network are doing. No. Vince is going to have to come between this war and make a decision at some point. Because again, USA is standing firm. They are happy with the way this is going on Raw with the PG format because they're getting the money that they need from the advertisers. That's how it works, guys. Vince McMahon cuts a deal with USA Network. USA Network gives Vince McMahon all this money to have his show on their network, and then USA makes their money back through the advertisers. Well, there's a shitload of PG advertisers, so USA Network is happier than a pig in shit. Fox wants to take a different approach. They want the company to be looked at as more of a real sport with all the entertainment aspects, but more adult-oriented. Almost like a UFC. But they're hoping way more entertaining. And because of that, they want those adult-oriented advertisers and advertisements. I love this. It's a little something for everybody. However, the problem is this. You're gonna have to choose one or the other. You can't have both. This isn't one of those things where you can have PG on Raw and TV14 on Smackdown. Because wrestling fans are going to be watching both or keeping up on both. So it's not going to work. You're going to be squeaky clean for little Freddie and Frankie in the 16th row on Mondays, and then on Fridays when they're watching at home, all of a sudden, shit just got real? Shit's a lot more risque? What the hell? I'm watching two different shits here. If that's the case, then maybe the brand split would be working, right? Because it would actually feel like two different brands. So maybe that would work. Maybe Vince wouldn't have to make a decision. Fridays, more risky, TV14. Mondays, PG. And if you're doing your shit correctly, you'll be able to captivate both audiences. Because we shouldn't be divided anyway. I know that's a lot to take in, guys, because now we're going a little bit every which way, but the main points that you have to take from this story is USA wants Vince to keep a TV PG-14, what the fuck am I talking about? USA wants Vince to stay PG. Fox wants Vince to change when they go over to Fox, SmackDown, and change that to a 14 rating so they can be a lot more adult-oriented. One of them is going to have to budge. At this point, this is turning into a war. Vince is either going to have to decide, and even if he makes a decision, is USA Network going to be happy? Probably not, if they decide with Fox. And if he decides with USA Network, is Fox going to be happy? No! We gave you $1 billion. You ain't going to fucking tell us no. But USA is going to say, we've already had our relationship for years and years. You can't tell us no. And if you're thinking about the stockholders, the shareholders, WWE is a public trading company now, so Vince can't just answer on his own. So BC, wouldn't it have to remain PG because they have to please all the shareholders? Guys, you can still be TV14. It's just a rating. A publicly traded company does not need to be PG. If Fox can prove and show that they can bring in the same amount of advertisers that USA Network and Vince are bringing in with a PG rating, if Fox can prove that we can pull in the same amount with a 14 rating, business as usual. And maybe Fox can show that their model for how they want WWE ran, maybe even better. Maybe brings Vince even more money. It's going to be interesting. I won't go any further with it now because we have to see how this progresses. But this is interesting, guys. This is starting to get fun. This is a little war between USA Network and Fox. Vince is in the middle, and shit's going to have to change one way or the other. Because Fox is not budging. They want this shit much more gritty, much more in a realistic format. And they're gonna get their way to some extent. Will they get the full TV14 rating? Who knows? Is Vincent willing to budge that much? Who knows? If not, they're gonna have to take this PG rating right to the fucking line. Because Fox means business. If ratings continue to drop on Fox, shit's gonna hit the fan, guys. USA Network can sit back and still make their money from the advertisements. They're not in no necessarily big hurry to change shit. Because again, they're still making their money. But Fox, you watch any show that does not pull in ratings on ABC, CBS, NBC, or Fox. Those are the big four broadcast networks. Watch any show that doesn't bring in ratings, guys. They don't care if it's 9 episodes in. They get the axe. They get cut. The show will get cut. Because broadcast network television, like the big four, they don't fuck around. They want people tuning in. If they just see SmackDown losing audience by the fucking week, shit's gonna hit the fan and they will demand change. And there ain't a damn thing USA Network is going to be able to do once that happens. This is getting fun. I fucking love this. I'll shut up about it now, but don't be surprised if we're talking about this more in depth in the weeks and months to come, because this is only going to get heavier and decisions are going to have to be made. TV PG or TV 14? What do you guys like, man? Do you like one or the other? Are you okay with the way Raw's been for the past 7 to 10 years? Or do you want to see shit get a little bit more attitude in the future? Ooh, that was a fucking nosediver one. That was good. Amplified, man. I can't wait to kick off WrestleMania week with you guys in just a few days. We'll do this together, and we'll probably do it in an impromptu video. So again, stay notified and subscribed. Much love and respect. Peace. Holla at your boy, cause he's out. For now, check you. Anger, say bye. He said bye, bitch. Mitch, you want to say bye? He said check you later.